Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity in Naperville. I'm Kitty Benson, the minister here at Unity, and I'm so glad. Hey, you guys, I got a crowd with me this morning, ready to do some awesome music. And if this is your first time to Unity, we're just grateful that you're choosing to spend some time exploring your spiritual nature, which is the true you. And looking forward to talking to you more about that today, just how to tap into that spiritual nature and allow it to lead. That's what we're all about. This series that we're working on is about staging an awakening world. So I'm excited to talk more about that with you. And one of the ways that we open up, awaken to the truth of our being is we sing about the truth of our being. We sing about the presence of God expressing through us in our lives. And we have Highest Good here today who's going to help us do that. You're going to see some words up on the screen that you can sing along or just enjoy the energy. Just take in the meaning of these words. What do we sing?
Think upon these things.
Think upon these things. That's so important. Let's sing.
Good morning, everyone. Sing aloud, sing along. Words are on the screen. My thoughts create the world I'm living in. The word takes shape in the form I'm giving it. My thoughts create the world I'm living in. The word takes shape in the form I'm giving it. So whatever is pure, whatever is right, whatever is beautiful in God's light, whatever is good, whatever is kind, whatever loveliness I find. Oh, I think upon these things. 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 Yeah, my thoughts create the world I'm living in. The word takes shape in the form I'm giving it. So whatever is pure, whatever is right, whatever is beautiful in God's sight, whatever is good, whatever is kind, whatever loveliness I find. Oh, I think upon these things. 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 Whatever is pure, whatever is right, whatever is beautiful in God's sight, whatever is good, whatever is kind, whatever loveliness I find. Oh, I think upon these things. 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 Yes, I do. What are we focused on this morning? That's always a good question, isn't it, Kitty?
Keep asking. There, you heard it right from the preacher's mouth. Keep on asking. Ask. Think upon the divine. Think about the divine in you as you. How's that? Here you go, guys. Sing it. I am not a drop in the ocean. I am all the ocean in a drop. I am not a drop in the ocean. I am all the ocean in a drop. And God and I are one. This drop is the ocean. Drop in the ocean, I am all the ocean in a drop. I am not a drop in the ocean, I am all the ocean in a drop. And God and I are one. This drop is the ocean.
Yes, we are. I was just thinking, that on this cold, cold, cold day in Chicagoland anyway, the last thing you want to be is a drop in the ocean. In the real ocean. No, not in the, whatever, I'm digging a hole here.
A drop in a hot spring, that's what
That's it. Can we use that one instead? A drop in the hot spring. God is good no matter where we are. God is our light and our warmth and our energy.
Yeah.
Let's turn our thought that inner connection to spirit, where we can find that peace. Make that connection, loving spirit everywhere present. I behold life in me, and I know that for all beings. That is the divine life that thrives. And in the face of any illness, we know there is the allness of God thriving. And as we look at that presence this morning, we give thanks, Spirit, that health and well-being is our natural state, and we have nothing to do but simply allow. We get out of its way and allow our life energy to flow freely through us. We let that energy be that which gets us up in the morning, and we thank you, Spirit, that that energy carries us through our day with vitality and enthusiasm. God is good. God is expressing that goodness as me, and so it is. Amen. Will you help us speak our invocation? These are words that remind us of that presence of God that's everywhere in the midst of everything that we do. Let's say these words together here on the screen. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life the all-loving goodness of God. And so it is.
I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. My love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my peace over the mountains. I send my peace over the sea. I send my peace into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me, and it returns to me, and it returns to me.
Beautiful, beautiful. Just what we needed. You know what's important about that song is that we are doing the sending. We are choosing to do the sending. And when we do the sending, we are ascending, yes? Yeah. You know, I had the opportunity to spend a day down in Peoria this past week where my mom had recently made her passing in January, and my siblings and I are going through their house, my mom and dad's house, and just kind of trying to decide what to do with things, what to do with the house. And there's 5 of us siblings. 4 of us were in and out of the house this week when I was there. And I was reminded fairly quickly of the 12-year-old Kitty. The 12-year-old snot-nosed kid that always wanted to argue with her siblings about this, that, and the other thing. And I was getting the opportunity to notice what I was talking about here last week, that we're in this message series focusing on how to stage an awakening world, and that an awakening world is all about awakening to the fact that Spirit is in the midst of all of this, and how oftentimes you and I are sleepwalking through life. So I was reminded that I was sleepwalking this week when I was with one of my siblings because my 12-year-old came up. Now, remember I mentioned last week about these different levels of consciousness that we have, and that a lot of times our behavior is coming from the subconscious level that we're not awake and aware of, but it makes itself known with all those knee-jerk reactions where we say things and then wish we hadn't, or we do things and wonder where that came from. Well, that person came from me this past week in a relationship with one of my siblings and trying to make decisions about the house and the belongings and what we were going to do. And then I was reminded, oh, Kitty, where did that come from? And I realized that the knee-jerk reaction was coming from the ego's point of view, which said if we don't do it Kitty's way, then we may lose out in some way, and Kitty knows best. So let me just clarify today, because what we're here to do today, I promised you, is that we'd learn how to tell the difference between the ego's voice and the Spirit's voice, so that we can awaken to the infinite goodness of God within us and all around us. There's really two of us playing this game here that we call self. And the true you is what we refer to as our spiritual nature. You might call it your soul or your higher self or your Christ nature or the source or God. Whatever it is, it's spiritual in nature. And that aspect of ourself is eternal. It will be forever. It's perfect. It's whole. Its nature is to love. It's constantly seeing the good in things. That actually is you. Did you know that? That you have the ability to be that person. That presence of God, that higher self of you, is attached, plugged into the divine mind of God, the omniscience, the all-knowing. It's plugged into that perfect love that allows and holds no judgment. And guess what? Your higher self is always on a journey for growth and evolution. It's always seeking to be more, to create more, to know more of itself through this human experience. So what you can do is you can trust that higher self of you to come from a place where it's not going to be dependent on what's happening outside of itself. It's working and living from the inside out. It starts with spirit, and then it expresses into the physical dimension. So that's one of us. The other of us is what we'll call today our lower self, or our ego, and it is pretty much the opposite. It's temporary in nature, it's constantly needy, it's constantly judging, living in fear. It's working really just from the limited aspect of the brain. The brain is limited, the body, the 5 physical senses, and that personality that we built up throughout our life. And unless we've had a really, really positive, affirmative life, if we've been in touch with our higher self the whole time, then most of the time the ego is working from a place of negativity. It's easily afraid. It's easily judging. And that part of ourself is constantly seeking approval from the world outside of itself. So it doesn't work from the inside out. It works from the outside in. So just notice, first of all, who you've been living from this past week. Can you tell the difference? Whether you've been living from your higher or your lower self. Now, don't go dissing the lower self, because the spirit that we are needs the lower self. It needs the body. It needs all of the human in order to have the experience that it came here for. So we want to understand that this is not something we're trying to get rid of or shame. We're just simply trying to train it up to be receptive to that higher self within us. And think of it as a vehicle you're just living inside of. It's your partner in life, but it's not who you really are. Now, last week we talked about those 3 levels of consciousness. There's the superconscious, or the Christ mind, the divine mind, that is omniscience, omnipresence, omnipotence. It knows all. And that mind is constantly seeking to make itself known into this human experience. So it's constantly giving of itself, all of God's good, all of God's divine ideas. That's where we get our infinite wisdom and imagination. It's where we get our nature of love and understanding. And it's that part of ourself that continues to seek to grow and expand and evolve and create. And how I think this was designed in the mind of God was that level of consciousness is seeking to communicate into our conscious mind through that veil of the subconscious, that part that we're not usually consciously aware of, but it is the builder, so to speak. It's that which informs our behavior. And so, from the divine superconscious, it's constantly sending ideas and guidance that says, peace, be still. Open your heart and love. Look for some new and potential joys and goodness in life instead of what's negative. But in order for the subconscious to be able to let that information pass through, it has to be in alignment with your superconscious, which means it has to be radiating at the same frequency, the same energy, the same kind of thoughts, which is why we want to continue to feed the subconscious with thoughts of spirit so that they're always communicating. We got to clean out those years, that lifetime of I'm not enough and there's not enough, so that we can start receiving the divine ideas of spirit, that there's only God and God is infinite. So once we do that, the idea is that the insights of God, the divine wisdom and ideas and synchronicities and feelings that Spirit wants to send through as guidance can get into our conscious awareness. And then the conscious mind is the CEO. You get to decide what to do with that information. Hopefully, you're so tapped in that you're making positive choices to align with Spirit. You're not doing it from fear. That's out of the subconscious if it's not been cleaned out. But your conscious mind is the one that can draw on its power of will. Yes, I will choose to do the will of God. Yes, I will use my power of strength to keep choosing the will of God. Yes, I will use my power of faith to be able to look past these outer things and start choosing from what I know to be true in spirit. You make your decisions from your conscious mind. You take action from your conscious mind. And if everything is tied together and we're feeding our subconscious with spiritual truth, then spirit can get through and we live happily ever after. Now, I'm not saying that we won't have challenges in life. We'll get to that in a minute. But just realize that the key here is to live an awakened life. That's the happily ever after that we're seeking. To live an awakened life to our higher self. That is going to require learning how to tell the difference between higher and lower, and then learning how to respond to it. And also how to create a space for it to show up. So I'm guessing that probably one of the first challenges that we all have is knowing how to tell the difference between the higher self voice and the lower self voice. So let me just tell you how the two communicate. Your ego or lower self is going to advise you from a point of view of fear and selfishness. Its whole job is to keep you safe, to protect you, and therefore to control the environment, to control other people so that you're always serving yourself and your own well-being first. It's going to avoid taking any risks because you might fail at something that you don't know how to do, and then how would people think of you? And it's going to make itself look better by making others look bad. And it's going to look at yourself and judge how you're doing, and if you're not doing well enough, it's going to judge you too. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't kind of thing. So it's our loudest critic, and it's just trying to make sure that we are performing in such a way that when people look at us, they think we're great. That is how your lower self, your ego, advises you. So let's take a look at the higher self. Again, pretty much the opposite. The higher self is advising from love. It's coming through when it can get through, when it's trying to guide you in decision making. It's never going to influence you from fear because it's coming from a place of it's already done. In the mind of God, there's all the solutions and all the resources that you need to do what I'm guiding you to do. It approaches everything not from, wow, this is heavy, but this is light. This is light-filled. This is light-hearted. It doesn't take anything so seriously that it just stops you in your tracks. It's about just pointing your path to growth. And I admit, the lower self wants to avoid growth at all costs. But your higher self is going to try and lead you there little by little from a place of love and encouragement, not from danger. You know, danger, Will Robinson, it's not that kind of thing. It's going to call you into growth with this enticing challenge. It's one of those things where it looks risky and your lower self wants to run, but your higher self just keeps saying, come on, I know you can do it. When it's, trying to, take on a new career or move into a new relationship or make a move in your life, there's going to be that repeated longing in your heart, even though your lower self is down there saying, but I don't know how this is going to turn out. Your higher self is just saying, come on, let's keep taking it little steps at a time. And the litmus test for knowing the difference really between your higher and your lower self is how you feel when you think about your choices. Which choice feels better, feels lighter? Now remember, the ego will try and scare you about trying new things. But if you really get quiet and listen, it's going to feel like you have to take this step. You just can't turn away from it. Listen to the feelings. They will guide you through this. Now, in order to encourage more contact with your higher self, I'm going to offer a few ways today to create an environment for spirit to communicate through. And the first and most obvious is we have to learn how to stay calm, to chill out in life, to calm our senses down. Some of us are habitually uptight, or we're a drama junkie, or we're addicted to adrenaline. It's one of those things where we just can't seem to go through our day without churning up stuff to worry about and talk about and sweat over. Or we want to put ourselves continually in those experiences that are stressful and chaotic because we get this momentary feeling of adrenaline. Up here on the screen, I want to show you what Sonia Choquette said about that in her book, Trust Your Vibes. She says, excessive adrenaline is to your intuition what kryptonite is to Superman. It's lethal. Adrenaline is lethal to hearing your intuition. Because adrenaline is an energy that will give you temporary power, but then it leaves you depleted. And it's a frenetic energy. It's not a high, pure, perfect energy of spirit. And so when this frenetic energy is going, it's actually interfering. It's acting as a lower frequency that keeps you out of alignment with that spiritual wisdom that's trying to come through. Now, you're still going to get input. It's just not going to come from spirit. Your input is going to match whatever your energy is. So if you tend to live in a Chicken Little state of energy, then what you're going to get as far as advice in your life from inside is going to be the sky is falling information, run for your life kind of thing. So what we're trying to do here is calm ourselves consciously with certain behaviors, like taking deep breaths. If you find yourself upset with someone or afraid to make a decision or in total chaos in your life, just stop, get quiet, preferably get away by yourself, and just for a couple minutes. You hear that sigh that I make? Do that. Because what that does is it communicates to your subconscious, oh, it's time to relax. Let's do it again. Get outside, move your body, take a walk. Go to the mall and take a walk if it's too cold. But more importantly, try and be in nature. That's another way to just calm your senses. And of course, most importantly, make time every day to meditate, meditate, meditate. Get quiet, get into the silence. This is something that is really our only way to experience the divine. To hear the voice is to match Spirit's voice, which is silence. So we calm our thoughts. Just take a time to center on a single thought about God. Simple ones. Be still and know that I am God. Just keep turning your thought in that direction. Or I am light. Or just the two words divine love, which makes you aware of the presence of divine love. Jesus Christ is here now, raising me to his consciousness of divine love and wisdom. Whatever it takes to keep you on track and connected to Spirit. Simple, short phrases like that remind you of the truth. Because the most important thing about connecting with your higher self is matching your energy. So let me tell you another way to do that. That is, okay, it's going to be hard for some of us. It's going to be hard for some of us. Release the need for control. Letting go of control. You know, controlling is about creating a rigid attitude. It's not allowing change. It's being fixed in place. And boy, does our ego love that, because that's where safety is. That's where we understand, I've done that before, and if we do it my way and I know what's going to happen, then I'm safe. On the other hand, your spirit is playful. It's creative. It's constantly wanting to take risks, to be flexible. You know, I was just a simple example of this. When I was in Peoria this week, I needed to make an errand over to my brother-in-law's office. And it was one of those things where you can't get there from here. From my parents' house, I could not figure out the most efficient way, and that's sadly how my brain works most of the time, the most efficient way to do something. And I'm thinking, if I go that way, then it does all this roundabout, lots of lights. If I go that way, I might end up over here, lots of lights, going to take forever to get there. And so I'm driving, but I'm not knowing really yet which way I'm going. And of course, my ego's just arguing the whole time. It's like, you're just going to waste your time. What are you going to do? And then suddenly, I just took a breath, and freeway popped into my mind. And when freeway popped into my mind, I said, yeah, let's live dangerously. And then I said, no, not dangerously. Let's live courageously. Let's live creatively. Let's take the freeway. And then, so that was my higher self. Ooh, that felt fun. Then, of course, the lower self comes in and says, but you don't know where the exit's going to take you. You might end up miles away from where you need to be. You've never gone that way before. Does this sound familiar, or is it just me? Okay? So you get all these arguments going in your head, but I just thought, no, I'm going to live courageously. Right, writers? I'm going to live courageously today and take the freeway. I know which exit. We'll just see where it goes. Got on the freeway, took the exit, boom, it dumped me right at his doorstep. Spirit knows. We just have to be willing to take some risks and be flexible instead of trying to control and be rigid about what you're doing in your life. Another way to make space for spirit to be heard is to pay attention to how your words are coming out of your mouth. I mean, if you think back about the majority of your conversations this past week, were they light-filled or were they heavy? Were they focused on good or were they focused on what the problem is? Were they words that were controlling or judgmental? You know the old saying, garbage in, garbage out? I would say garbage out, garbage in. That when our words come out as garbage, which is unlike spirit, we're basically only making room for something of the same frequency to come back in, to attract back into our life. So if your words are of garbage, you're barring your higher self from being able to speak to you. Notice when you're in conversation with a group of people and it's going south and spiraling down, you have the power to notice and walk away from that. Instead of engaging in those kinds of words. Use your words to build up, not tear down. Use your words to speak of the things that you're grateful for instead of the things that you want to complain about. That all contributes to energy, which all contributes to whether you're going to hear from your higher self or not. If we're so busy complaining, there is no way that spirit can connect with our consciousness and tell us how to get out of this mess. We're setting the stage. We're talking about staging an awakening world. We're setting the stage for awakening. We're setting the stage for spirit to speak loud and clear in us. So until you know for sure that you're hearing from spirit, just pretend that you are. Let or choose thoughts and feelings and visions that you think spirit might choose if it were dominating your life. And you'll find that the more that you do that, the harder it becomes to actually put yourself in environments that don't feel like spirit. In other words, you're not going to want to go see so many of those violent movies anymore. You're not going to want to put yourself in those crazy, busy, chaotic situations anymore. You're going to probably want to stay away from depressing news or conversations. Because the more that you imagine that spirit is thinking and feeling and visioning through you, the more you will start to be that. Part of creating that environment is that you expect good things to happen. You expect Spirit to work through you and to provide for you, not just ideas, but expect the resources to meet those ideas to come through as well. It's about getting up in the morning and releasing your day into Spirit with the belief that my day is going to move in a positive way, and I'm going to watch for those positive results. Sonia Choquette used to say that her mom would send her kids off to school every day and say, okay, go out and look for something good, and then plan to come home and tell me about it. And they would. They'd always come home and have something to say that happened to them that was good. What you're doing is you're opening the door for your point of view to rise up into your higher self, and that you're going to be looking at life not from fear, but from the chance for new opportunities to come through. You're going to expect great opportunities to come through. You're going to expect to have fun while you're growing, and that you're going to make way for Spirit to live that higher way through your consciousness, because you're creating that space for it to happen in the first place. And as you start to hear your inner guide, which at first you're not going to be sure, but little by little it's going to get very clear to you, and here's what you do to make that happen. When you start doing this, you ask Spirit for guidance, or you're looking for something positive, and you think you've seen it, or you think you've heard it, write it down. When you have a hunch, write it down. When you sense something's about to happen, write it down. And then over time, you're going to start to see that what you're writing down has actually produced good results, and that really was Spirit communicating to you. You're going to start to learn to hear the sound of that voice. And the more that you look and listen, the more you are teaching your subconscious that this is important. Listening for Spirit and noticing these divine ideas coming through and these synchronicities around me, that's important. And so Spirit's going to help you more. It's going to start showing that for you, which basically means it's making way for your higher self to come through. You know what's interesting is that Facebook understands that. I don't know if you've noticed, but if you ever, and I don't recommend it, but if you ever click on an ad while you're on Facebook, you will suddenly see thousands of ads coming through on your Facebook feed, yes? Or it reads your conversations. When you start having certain conversations about things, it starts showing you other input. Well, that's the way Spirit works. That's the way your subconscious works. The more that you give attention to something, the more it's going to feed you. The more that you write down what you're noticing, the more you're going to notice, the more connected you're going to be. So you might be right and wrong a few times, but just keep doing it until you start to recognize that's definitely the voice of Spirit. I've gotten to the point now where if an idea pops into my head without any, environment around me that's indicating that, I wasn't even thinking about it, or a person's name comes into my head, I know that I'm going to experience that soon. I'm either going to hear from them or that situation's going to happen. A lot of times it's like when I'm waiting for somebody or something to get back to me, and I have done my part and I've let it go, I've forgotten about it, and days or weeks later I suddenly think about it again, I can be sure that within a day or two it's going to resolve itself, and it does. So you just start to learn how to hear these signs and symbols coming through if you make an effort to write them down and pay attention, listen for them. We also want to keep our energy aligned with Spirit by focusing on what we love. You know, you probably are looking at us through Facebook or on our website right now, and there's a little chat box there. So why don't you just jot down one thing that you love? Like for me, I made a list one time, and it came out to be things like fruit salad. You know, I love fruit salad. Not only is it good for the body, but I just love thinking about fruit salad. Don't ask me why. It just makes me happy. I love thinking about flowers. I love walking in the woods. I love going to bed early. Ooh, I really love going to bed early. You know, whatever it is that when you think about it, you feel light, make a list. You know, these are a few of my favorite things. And when you make that list, write one thing in the chat so we can see what's on your list. It's an opportunity so when you find yourself in a heavier energy or sleepwalking and you suddenly wake up, if you want to raise that energy, go back to your list, read your list, and let it lighten your energy. Mostly today, what I want us to think about is teaching our human nature to surrender. And I'm not talking about giving up and running away from something. I'm talking about surrendering your attachment to things that are unlike spirit. So for instance, anything that elicits a negative response in you, surrender. Surrender it to spirit. That need to be perfect or to have a perfect situation, surrender that need. That way of giving your power away to something outside of yourself, surrender that. Those questions that you are trying to find an answer to and it's just not coming, surrender that to spirit. And here's the fun part. Surrender your everyday stuff to spirit. Our lives can be so much easier, so much more aligned with our good if we would simply just start the day by surrendering my attachment to fixing or controlling or judging or fearing what I'm about to experience. And instead, I'm going to turn this over to the universe. And the reason that we want to do that, to surrender that, is it's actually an invitation then for spirit to come in and do its good. You know, the scriptures say you have not because you ask not. Well, this is your way of asking. I'm going to surrender control over this day. I'm going to do what's mine to do, but I'm going to surrender the need to make it happen in any certain way. And that the less we struggle, the higher our energy becomes. We have to learn how to align with that spiritual solution, but in order to do that, our energy has to match it. So something that Esther Hicks wrote about in one of her newsletters up here on the screen, she said, take the time to line up the energy first, and action becomes inconsequential. If you don't take the time to line up the energy, if you don't find the feeling place of what you're looking for, no amount of action in the world will make any difference. The feeling place, that's energy. The minimum feeling you're seeking is relief. And I got to tell you, when I turn things over to spirit, when I remember to turn things over to spirit, I instantly feel relief because I trust it. I know that it is so much more able to resolve the problems in life. So just seek a feeling of relief and know that your energy is now in alignment. But up here on the screen, I've got kind of a basic statement that you can use to surrender. And I learned this on my sabbatical when I had spent way too many months and years not surrendering. And here's what came to me. Let's just read this aloud together. I let go of the need to know or control it all. I let love manage this situation and guide my way. I feel love working all things together for good. I'm open and receptive to my higher self. When it's my turn to act, I'll know. In the meantime, I let go of the need to control and know it all. I let love manage this situation. I'm not kidding. Memorize that. Memorize that to the point where every time you feel yourself stressing out, you can recite that and you will feel relief. You're calling in, you're basically opening the door and saying, okay, Spirit, it's yours to do. Let me know when it's my turn. In the meantime, I let go and let love manage this. Please trust me on this. Now, you're going to ultimately find ways to use that on your everyday life. This story I was telling you about earlier with being with my siblings and being in disagreement on something, I realized that the reason that I was angsting over that was because I had decided if we don't do it my way, then our needs, our collective needs, wouldn't be met. And when I left town, that came to mind. That was the core ego, lower self motive, is trying to make sure that all of our needs were met. And I realized, hey, I don't have to do that. Ha-ha! I surrender that. And I just went into my little statement here. I let go of my need to control this. I let love manage this situation. I am feeling love doing its perfect work and working all things together for good. I'm open and receptive to my higher self. And when it's my turn to act, I'll know. Isn't that wonderful? Doesn't it just feel so good when you try that? And then you're actually making space for your higher self to do its thing. Now, you do take action, and that's another step that helps allow Spirit to work through us, because God can only do for us what God can do through us. So we will take action at some point. We're not just going to sit on our hands. The way that Eric Butterworth describes this surrender up here on the screen. He first is quoting from Psalm 37:9. He says, "Those that wait on the Lord shall inherit the earth." But he said to wait on the Lord means to integrate yourself with the power and potential of your spiritual nature, to get yourself plugged in, tuned in, and turned on. Get your mind to stay on God, to become a channel for the creative flow. And then he quotes Goethe, "Whatever you dream you can do, begin it, for the boldness has genius and power and magic in it." Now, so many of us don't want to take action because we're afraid we'll do it wrong. Or we start taking action and we run into a wall and we say, "Oh, it must not be God's will. Boo-hoo for me." No. It just means that we need to check in with our energy and make sure that it is aligned with spirit. You know, that's such an easy way out for the lower self when you're having an experience at work, let's say, and you get a new boss, and the new boss is a real challenge, a real pain in the neck, and you want to do X, Y, and Z, and your boss is saying no, and you're thinking, "Oh, it must not be God's will. I guess I should just quit," when that's exactly what you've done like time and time before. It doesn't mean that you should quit. It means that we need to realign our energy with spirit, to take action from that higher self point of view. Take action knowing that your higher self knows what you need in this moment and will guide you, and just start working towards the idea that the end result is already complete, and I'm just here to take one step at a time, do what I know to do in the moment, and leave the rest to spirit until it's time to do something else. So there's lots of different things that you and I are encouraged to do here today that will help make space for your higher self to come through, especially when you're in the middle of something that's certainly blocking Spirit's voice. But for a regular, everyday, well, it's not every day, but in those moments when you're feeling good, then I want you to enter into Spirit's basic training. And basic training up here on the screen is basically, as often as you can, just run through these ideas. If I were spirit, I would be, and then list a bunch of qualities. You might do that in the chat right now. If I were spirit, I would be what? Love, wisdom, patience, kindness. If I were spirit, I would behave with forgiveness. I would behave with courage. If I were spirit, what's a motive or a desire from spirit? Spirit's motives are to grow, to create, to expand. So just fill in that sentence. If I were spirit, and P.S., you are spirit. And what you're trying to do is re-engage with your true identity, to own your true self. Another thought is, if I were spirit and I knew that there's nothing against me, if I knew that I am unlimited and my supply is unlimited, I would fill in the blank. This is going to be helpful for those of you who have a desire to try something new, but you're not quite there yet. So I would take on this new challenge. I would try out this new venture. I would give up my need for control. I would trust that all things are working together for good. These, again, are starting to feed your subconscious to remind it, oh, the higher self is really in charge here. The lower self is meant to just take a back seat and do as Spirit guides us to do. So, again, let me just remind you that one of the best things you can do for yourself is make quiet time every day. Let's take some time in the quiet, and I'll just give you an example of how you might do this. Remember that? Take a deep breath. Now I know that you don't all sing, but if you don't sing, you can just say the words, and what you're looking for here is quiet between the thoughts, silence between the thoughts. So this is just one way that you can help create that. Be still and know I am God. still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know be still and know be still. Be still. Be be I am light. I am light. I am light. In this quiet moment, I am one with the pure presence of light. It is the very essence of my soul. The very life in my body. my very daily supply. Light shines on my path, and I am guided to all of God's good. This is the truth of my being, and now I allow it to be. Amen. Don't forget your deep breathing. Just like mothers in labor, it's how we birth our freedom. Deep breathing, lots of sighs. This time in our service is an opportunity for us to become one again with the light that supplies our every need and be the light that supplies others. We share our love through our tithes and our love offerings when we find something that we want to see sustained, to continue its evolutionary process, to continue its giving process. And so the message here at Unity and all of the services that you help to create, we invite those of you who find meaning in them to help support them with your financial gifts. And you can do that either online right now through our website at unityinnaperville.org, or you can find our P.O. box up here on the screen, 9733. And in Naperville, Illinois, the zip code is 60567. However you give your gifts and whatever amount is a way to keep this positive message moving forward, and we are deeply grateful. The best way to give is to bless it as it goes. So would you help us speak this blessing together? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. And so it is. Thank you.
So grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. So blessed. Just another way to hear from your higher self is move into gratitude. Thank you for that. So we got a few things going on here at Unity in Naperville. And first of all, I just wanted to reach out to those of you who are here for the first time this morning. We are so grateful to have your loving presence and to know that there are people out there who are interested in awakening to the truth of their being. And we just love playing with you together. Right now we're doing it online only, but soon we'll have more good news about coming back together in our building. And one of the things that I wanted to invite you to do if you're new is to join our mailing list, and then we can tell you about all the things that are happening on a weekly basis. So if you'd like to do that, you can go to our website, unityinnaperville.org, and on the homepage there's a place to add your name to the mailing list. Just fill out your email address there, or you can email admin@unityinnaperville.org, and Melody will do that for you. So what's going on this week? You know, it's been almost a year now, that you've been doing lunch online.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has been.
Yeah.
It's a lot of lunch, a lot of sandwiches,
Exactly.
a lot of laughter.
Yeah, so every Tuesday and Thursday you can be part of that. It's a good way to meet new people. Just, bring your lunch or not. Just come in to hang out with each other. Go to unitycommunityconnect.com. Look for the channel that says Lunch Online every Tuesday and Thursday at noon. Just click on the Zoom link once you get in there, and you'll be able to see and hear each other as you share.
Yes.
Just some really fun, positive energy. It's a great place to connect. Also, we are doing sharing circles. Were you able to go to that on Friday?
It was fabulous.
Good.
It was great.
Do you remember one of the topics that you were invited to talk about? You know how they broke out into small sessions, and what was
Put me on the spot. Let me think.
Okay, you think about that, and
Well,
let me tell you about
it started as simply with your favorite color.
Okay.
How's that? And then it kind of graduated from there.
Okay, good. So this is another chance for you to get to know people, but in small groups. And so what we're doing, and you know what, the woman that's leading this, JP Price, has been doing this where she lives in California, but she's become a part of our congregation here in Chicago. And she's been attracting people from all over the world. So this is, anybody who's listening, wherever you live, it's a great chance to make new friends. And she will give you specific questions and then put you in a breakout room with just 3 other people and give you a chance to just chat your thoughts. There's no right or wrong answers. It's just a chance to learn how to listen to others and also to be heard. So I hope that you'll check that out. We're doing sharing circles every Friday. Again, unitycommunityconnect.com, and look for, is it the Classroom? Sharing Circles channel, okay?
Yes.
And inside there's another link to the Zoom. So I hope you'll check that out this coming Friday.
I will say this, Kitty. I did feel like I knew people better after that time
Great.
together.
And
Really.
that's the point, too,
Yeah.
especially some of you guys who've been coming to Unity for so long, and you see each other's faces here on Sunday morning, or at least you used to. This is a good chance for you to just really get to know people better.
Yes.
Thank you for that. And then also another thing we've been doing for quite a while is courageous writers. So if you're interested in just expanding on your writing skills, there again is no right or wrong way to do this. And we give you lots of prompts and an opportunity for you to just explore some creative writing, and you can share or not share. It's up to you. But that happens this Saturday. It's pretty much every week or every other week? Every other week now. Okay. So Saturday at 10 a.m., just go to unitycommunityconnect.com and look for the Courageous Writers channel, and then hit the Zoom link. Also, I'm starting a new class. I know it's been a while, just because we've been trying to deal with all the COVID issues around here, but we're going to start a new class. It's going to be based on creating your own personal mission statement. You know, Unity has a mission statement that defines why we exist and what we want to accomplish. How about having one for yourself? This is a chance, again, for you to awaken to your spiritual nature. And so it starts on Tuesday, February 16th. That's a week from this Tuesday. At 7 o'clock, we're going to run for 5 weeks. But I want you to get your book now so that you can start reading ahead of time. The book is called The Path by Lori Beth Jones, and you can get it on Amazon, I'm sure anywhere else that books are sold. Start reading ahead, and then we'll see you on Tuesday the 16th at 7 o'clock, unitycommunityconnect.com. This channel is called Classroom 1, so we'll see you there. And then our Crafters Circle, just save the date for that. We'll talk more about that later. That's going to happen again on Friday, February 19th. And for all the events that are going on, you can just go to unityinnaperville.org, hit our event calendar, and everything is there with the links that you need to be able to access the events. We are staging an awakening world, not only in consciousness, but also physically. We're staging an awakening here in this sanctuary by building a new stage and freshening up our space. Yay is right. And we have an awesome project manager, Steve Landry, who's doing such a wonderful job in getting us organized, but he's going to need some help. So if you can simply just carry a piece of, I'm not kidding, lightweight wood from the truck into the room? Or when it's all in a pile in here, would you carry a piece so he doesn't have to keep getting up and sitting down, getting up and sitting down? It might be that you're going to help paint some slats of wood or move a little bit of furniture, easy, lightweight furniture around. Simple things that most of us could do, take an electric grill and drill in one screw. Can you do that? Okay, if you can help in any way, then please let us know by sending an email to admin, ADMIN, at unityinnaperville.org, and we'll pass you on to the volunteer coordinator, Suzanne, and she'll let you know when we need your help. We have chaplains who are ready to pray with you one-on-one today. If you have an issue that you would like support, then just reach out with your email today and they will call you. Send an email to prayer@unityinnaperville.org and put your phone number and name in there and that you'd like a call, and they will get to you before 1 o'clock today. Okay, if you can do that by 12:30, they'll call you by 1 o'clock. Okay. I think I've got everything there, except I want to talk about the fundraiser, right? Is that what's next, Cindy? Okay. So, as I mentioned, we're building a stage, and in order to do that, to put in the stage, to paint the sanctuary and some rooms out front, to put some new spotlights in here together, we're also seeking to just finish out our fiscal year, March 31st, in the black. In order to do that, we were hoping to raise $14,000, and we started doing that on January 10th. We let you know about that. And as you did that, we were turning puzzle pieces over on our website so you could see our progress. So, Cindy, what does our screen look like now? Why, look, all the puzzle pieces have been filled in.
It's all filled in.
Yeah. Now, what is so fun about this is that we expected this to take 3 months, and it took you a month or less to not only reach our goal of $14,000, but here's where we actually are right now. Are you ready for this? $18,324. You are so generous. We love you so much. We are so grateful for helping us hold this vision and now have the resources to be able to make it happen. So thank you so much for all of those who are able to contribute. And I kind of see this like a cake. One of our board members said, you know what? We could have our cake and eat it too. So let's not stop. Since we've got till March 31st to finish out our year, is there anything else that we need? And I said, holy cow, I could get you a list like you can't believe. So between now March 31st, we're wondering if we could put some icing on this cake. And if you might be willing, especially for those of you who haven't yet contributed, maybe you intended to, but you hadn't gotten around to it, we're still receiving special donations for this because we have some other important things that we want to do. As a matter of fact, the board is like, no, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do this, but I want to do that. I think we do this. Let's do it all. Okay, let's get to the congregation and ask if they can help us. Did you follow all that? Well, it's everything from all new lighting in the sanctuary to some new furnishings in the front room instead of folding tables, to supporting our youth in our classroom with some new additions, and a few other things that are going to be dreamed up as we go. We're actually discovered some accessories to help our stage walls look even more fantastic than we thought, that are going to cost a little bit more than we were expecting. So don't worry, we have plenty of ways to use your gifts. If you're able to help contribute and continue that process, our Staging an Awakening World fundraiser will continue on through March 31st, and just contribute as you can and as your heart leads you. We are so grateful for all that you have done to help just spruce up and enliven our space here. And I can't wait to show it to you. I'll just go ahead and say this because it's going to happen. April 4th, which is Easter Sunday, we're going to open our doors. April 4th, Easter Sunday, we're going to open our doors. And, the vaccine process is not as far along as it might be or that we expect it to be on April 4th. However, we're still going to do it from a graduated method that we talked about a year ago when we thought we were going to open our doors. We're going to, on Easter Sunday, we're going to have 2 services, and they're both going to be the same. The band has kindly agreed to come in for both services at 9 and 10:45, so it'll be the same service. And we will be able to fit 35 people in here at each of those services, and we will have a way for you to sign up. So just put that on your calendar and know that from that point on, we will continue to have one service at 10:45 for a while with 35 people at a time. So we'll explain it all again to you in the future, but I just wanted you to have those dates on your calendar, and looking forward to opening our doors on Easter Sunday. How cool is that? Okay, we are starting February this month, and so is now the time that we talk about birthdays? Did I do that right?
Indeed.
Can we do that? Sure? Sure we can do that now? Okay, Kevin, you want...
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay, first of all,
Pictures.
first of all, you know what? Shoot, I think there's a few people that are missing here. If your birthday's in February and your picture's not up here, would you please put your name in the chat box and say, it's my birthday? I think Tom Schneider was one of them. I think Mary Went might have been one of them. Happy birthday to you guys. And we'll get you next week, okay? But for all of our February babies, if your name's not up here, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Let's sing to them.
Happy birthday.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you. Woo! It's our best year ever. Can't get any worse, right? Who is it? Okay, thank you for that, because it is the 1st of February. I skipped our children's blessing. I'm used to seeing them here. Let's bless our children, okay? Yes. Do we have it up here on the screen, Cindy? Okay, our beloveds, you know, they're still kind of living in the question mark of, do I go to school or do I not go to school? When do I see my friends? When do I go back to work? Let's bless them with some light, because they could use that right now, right? And they're going to send us theirs as well. Together, children, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you, and we see the light of God shining in you. We love you so much. We know we're going to see you again soon. And are we doing a song? Do we have another song? What is it?
Blessed always.
Let's sing this together.
Join us, won't you? Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
Okay, I lied. It was March Schneider that has a February birthday.
It was a Schneider.
It was a Schneider. I was close. Hey, everybody. Before you go, there's a couple things. First of all, I'm going to lead you in our closing affirmation. And then if you'd like to hang around and share some of your comments from today, or we can read some of your comments, your favorite things list, or how you want to see yourself as spirit, or anything you want to say with us, put it in the chat box. Or you can text me right now. Do we have a text number up? 630-793-0993, and we'll talk with you a little bit longer. But first, here's our closing affirmation. Let's say this all together. I am awakening to my true self, and I gladly give way to its power. Yes, amen to that. Have a beautiful week, everyone. And who has something that they would like to say?
Whenever you asked a question, it was just blowing up on your Facebook.
Okay, good.
So let's see what we've got. But just general comments. Let's see.
Oh, yes. Will live stream continue after Easter? Are you kidding? Absolutely, positively.
That's right. We have to show off our new stage. And not only that, we've got so many new friends now that are watching from all over the country, maybe the world. We want to keep you with us. So for sure.
Absolutely.
We're
You know,
gonna-
Sharon Cook-Jepsky writes, let's give some loving attention to the meditation room, too.
The meditation room. Okay. You know what? We'll have to look into that. Sharon, if you got ideas about what you mean by that, send them on over. I see calm and peace and calm coming in from somebody with just those words, which are good enough for me. Peace and calm. I like that text.
Now, there must be something happening on screen that we don't see, but Cindy Freeman says, love the scroll on the bottom of the screen. It's helpful for text and call. So thank you, Parker. Must be a scroll with numbers there.
You're
right?
scrolling the texting number. Good. Okay. So somebody said, this is Cammie. Great talk. As always, love your teachings. May I also just say your hair looked especially wonderful today.
Well.
Full and shimmering. Oh, look at
Did
that.
you recently get it done? Or just-
You know what? I do it myself, just so you knows. Yeah.
I'm just going to go down a list of people and things that make them smile.
Yeah,
and
let me
make
hear
them-
that.
You want to hear some of that?
Yeah.
Let's see. Of course, I wrote down that I love Sock Monkey. That always makes me
Sock
smile. I do love
Monkey.
Sock Monkey.
Love that.
Deborah Whalen, trees. Cynthia Moon. Oh, wait, no, that's not the one. Cynthia Moon, animals. JP, cats. Suzanne Case, sleep.
I can relate, Suzanne.
Tina Russell Mays, nature. Melissa Jones, the moonlight.
Oh, pretty.
Gordon says, I love Riley and Ginger.
Yeah, that's beagles.
Patricia, flowers, plants, trees. Kim Hope, nature and wildlife. Mary Smith, joy. Laura, my grandkids. Kim Hope again, my wife. Judd, working out and volunteering.
Cool.
Susan Rittenhouse, dogs. Sue Rio, music.
Beautiful.
Cindy Blank, birds singing. That's true. Danette Harris, cats. A lot of people with cats. I thought I saw Kevin O'Neill down there with cats as well. Mary Winter, grandson. Cindy Freeman, pizza and positive news.
Wonderful.
Playing music. That's
Playing
from Mark
music.
over there. Just a lot. Just a lot.
Yeah, it
List
makes me
goes
feel
on.
good to hear what you feel good about. Thanks for
Yes.
sharing those. And Ron Siegel, his picture was not up here, but it's his birthday on February 24th.
Happy birthday, Ron.
Thank you for the beautiful service. I don't know who sent that, but thank you. Blessed to you.
Kitty, what was that second question you asked again? Because I see the answers to that.
I think I was going through, finishing the sentence.
Yes.
So it would be, if I were spirit, I would be.
Tina says, I would love everyone unconditionally. Cynthia Moon says, I would be peace. Artie says, if I were spirit, I would be creativity. Melissa Jones, if I were spirit, I would be comfort. Deborah Whalen, forgiving. I would
Yeah.
be positive. Rhonda says, accepting. Cindy Freeman, since I am spirit, I am intuitive. So a lot of good answers there.
I love hearing that. Something that I wanted to mention earlier and forgot to do, let me see if I can find it quickly, is during this week, you know how we mentioned that we need some assistance with, assistance with our project manager. We already had some assistance come in this week. The chairs for our sanctuary are all now piled up in a big pile, which you probably can't see, in order to make room for the painters to come in.
Yeah.
So thank you to those who did that, who boxed up things in the front room and helped to move furniture and in the classroom. So that's thanks to Danny and Brenda Dwyer,
Yay.
to Suzanne, to
Yay.
Joan Talmy, to Sharon Jubsky. You guys rock!
You did.
Thank you for doing
so
that.
much for coming in. Did it throw you off a little?
What?
To have all the chairs piled in the center?
No, I just kind of tried to picture people sitting in them, even though they're like stacked
Like a
four high.
stack.
Because now they're kind of eye level with me, so I can just talk to
It's a
them,
huddle
right?
of people. It was different for me. Yeah.
It is a little different around here, that's for sure, but it's also exciting to know what's coming next. Looking forward to that.
There were quite a few people, Danette, Deborah, Tina, just loved the meditation.
Good.
Kitty, and loved your voice.
Oh, honeys, I have to tell you, I'll tell you a little secret. I started out way too high for my, range. So
beautiful.
sorry about that, because it could have been a lot better, but thanks for the loving appreciation. I love that.
Okay, is this today? Wow.
Just a comment for Parker. Cammie says, Parker loved the transparent thing when Kitty was doing the announcements. I don't know what he's doing back there, but it must be pretty fancy today.
Okay, Parker.
Pretty
Way to go.
fancy, okay.
Okay. Mary Beth says, so grateful for today's service. Awesome music, flawless technology, Rev Kitty's powerful practical faith lift. The song summed it up. We are so blessed.
Yes,
Thank you,
amen.
Mary Beth.
And everyone, of course, there's celebratory messages here about meeting that initial goal.
I
I'll call it,
know.
for the fundraiser.
Very
This
awesome.
community is amazing. Wow, woo, a lot of woohoos. A lot of woohoos.
Woohoo, that's what I said. Thank you, thank you. Someone said, we're grateful and appreciate the love and light you share with us. That's Deb and Tony DeSandro. Thank you for the beautiful service, beautiful meditation. Lisa Vargo, thanks. Hey, Lisa, welcome. It was your first service today at Unity.
Hi, Lisa.
Thanks for shouting out to us. We're glad to hear from you. And someone, let's see. Oh, it's Mark and Cheryl. You remember when they lived way down in
yeah.
Sandwich? Thanks for the great
Yeah.
reminder of tuning into the higher versus the lower self. High is good, awesome as usual. Mark and Cheryl give you their love.
See you guys.
Oh, check it out. I would, if I had to guess, I would say this sounds like Rhonda and Tony. Let's invest in some theater recliner chairs so we can have more movie nights. I love that idea. Come on, you guys.
Oh my gosh, I do like that.
That is funny. We have a big screen here, so we like to show movies every once in a while. And a lot of times, it's the screen is so high that our head is like, we need to be able to lay back and watch those movies from a recliner. I love that. Rhonda, was that you? Said Rhonda with an exclamation point.
Danette posted just a reminder about the birthdays, which we do every single month, the first Sunday of the month. Please send your picture, name, and birth date in to admin@unityinnaperville.org
Yeah.
if you'd like to be on our birthday slide.
Yeah.
And I personally love it when you send in your small kind, well, that's Hawaii, when you're a kid.
Oh, those are fun. Try and guess who they are.
Yes, that's right. We should not
should
label
do
them. We
that.
should try
Yeah,
to guess.
that'd be
That would
fun.
be awesome.
That is cool. And if you guys, seriously, if we missed you today, send me an email or send admin@unitynaperville.org because I get a copy of that. And I'll make sure that we get you up next week and sing to you again, okay? We can do that, right?
Oh, there's a shout out here to Deb DeSandro for the great vision
Yay!
board workshop
Vision
yesterday, and
board.
it was wonderful.
Good. I popped in just towards the end. I could see you all just busily focused on your vision board, so I didn't really get to see the end product. But how'd it go? You were building something, right?
I did make one. Well, I guess there were 17, 18 different
Cool.
people doing it, and some people were working on it, but had not completed it. I think we're going to actually have a get together on Zoom next week.
Oh,
so
good.
people can share what they've continued
That
working
would be
on.
fun.
Isn't that?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Man, those vision boards are powerful.
Yeah,
If you've
really.
never seen one before, there's just an opportunity for you to put pictures of what you want to create in your life on a board, and then you just keep it handy where you can look at it all year long. And I'm sure Deb had a whole lot of other pieces of advice around that.
She did. She had these slides. She was talking about the subconscious and speaking the language of the subconscious
Hey!
with the pictures and everything. It was wonderful. It was a great presentation.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. And I saw a lot of new faces when I popped in to say hi, so I'm just glad you're all trying stuff out online, because normally we would sit here in this room with a bunch of tables and a whole bunch of magazines. But see, you can do it at home too, right? Just find your pictures online, print them out on a color printer. Yeah, lots to do.
Yep. Everyone's agreeing here. Deb did a great job. Parker, shout out from Parker, Deb. And then also from Kim Hope. So it was wonderful.
Great. I am just checking to see if there's anybody else that needs to be heard from today. And the other thing you can do now is I'm going to head off to unitycommunityconnect.com and just hit the live stream chat channel when you get there, and then there's going to be a Zoom link. And we can sit and keep talking this morning if you'd like to do that. Just get to see me and other people and connect with each other. Anything else that...
Yeah, one last comment
Okay.
I'd like to add from JP, who says, come to Circles on Friday night, especially if you are an introvert.
Oh.
There's no pressure, and it's just a relaxing evening. And it's true, though you might start with more people in the main room. With each question, you're just broken off into a breakout group with maybe 3 or 4 people, you know, so it's far more intimate, no pressure.
Yeah,
it's a great.
that is such a great
If
point.
you don't do well with a room of 20 people, you're just there with the 3 or 4 as you're answering your question. It's really
Excellent.
nice.
Excellent. Anybody else got something to say? Do it in your text, 630-793-0993, or put it in your Facebook page or comment box on website. I could get caught up in Facebook, so I won't look at that anymore. Oh, look, I heard from a friend back in 1972. Just kidding. I wasn't even born in 1972. No one would be reaching out to me from that long ago, for heaven's sakes.
I'm not going to ask what team you're rooting for this afternoon.
What do you mean, what team?
It-
Oh, yeah. Oh, Super Bowl. I think I know what that is.
I don't get too much into the teams.
As a
You know,
matter
I
of
don't-
fact, my housemate even said yesterday, "Are you going to talk about the Super Bowl today?" I said, "What's that?"
Oh dear, oh dear.
Was not on my list.
I'm not so excited about the football game. We're going to be making wings
Oh, there you go.
and a couple of dipping sauces. That's what I'm excited about.
Okay. Okay. Well, you know, I got to say, if I had to lean, maybe I shouldn't say, but yeah, I won't say. But there are no local teams playing, right? There's
No.
somebody from
Nope.
Kansas City and somebody
Yeah.
from Florida. Yeah. So we wish them well. We hope that they just enjoy the journey, right?
That's right.
You
That's
know
right,
what?
yeah.
Whether you win or whether you lose, it's just about playing the game and having fun.
Oh,
Well, we won't repeat that.
Someone has a preference.
Someone has a preference. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. But it's, you know, it's fun. It's always a great opportunity to eat and drink and be merry. If you're going to be at a party today, wear your mask, please. Yeah, we're still doing that. And
It's just the household, just us in the house, but I'm still making a lot of wings. A lot of
Oh,
wings.
and you're not going to believe this, but there's someone here who texted me and said that it sounds like their favorite thing is Super Bowl commercials. Yeah, so if that's the only reason you're watching, let's talk.
And don't forget the Puppy Bowl.
The Puppy Bowl.
Puppy
Okay,
Bowl,
I know.
that's right.
Put that on my list of favorite
Just gonna
things.
switch back and forth.
Watching
Switch back and
puppies
forth.
play, that's too much fun. And thanks to whoever said so glad to be part of UIN. We're glad that you're part of it too. Looking forward to hugs again soon, you guys. Okay, well, I'm heading off to unitycommunityconnect.com. Get in there and look for the live stream chat channel, and then look for the Zoom link, and we'll connect and talk some more today. Otherwise, keep looking at your e-news on Tuesday. Check our event calendar, find out what's coming up. There's got lots and lots to do to stay connected. We love you guys. We're going to keep talking about awakening next week, so I hope you come back and
Yes.
we'll explore this more deeply. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
All done.